What's going on, everybody? It's your pal Burrito Johnson coming at you with another movie review. I wanted to talk today about 2023's The Flash, box office hit The Flash. I'm going to come out the gate. I'm going to talk about the stuff that has been plaguing this movie, the dark cloud over this movie. I wanted to start out with, I didn't go to see this in the movie theaters. I didn't see this. I didn't want to support this in the movie theaters. I was going to wait till at least streaming. I'm not going to buy the physical version of this, but I will would have at least checked that out on streaming. I didn't even know when it was coming out on streaming. A buddy of mine been like, hey, it's coming out tomorrow. I'm like, oh, cool. I guess I could finally watch it. That's just how, unattached to this movie it came out, didn't do too well. Obviously, I wasn't the only one who had the idea that I wasn't going to go see this in the movie theaters. It's very obvious with these box office returns. Your audience is going to tell you exactly what they want. And unfortunately, not a lot of people wanted to go watch this. That being said, I actually had a good time with this movie. I am not going to praise Ezra Miller. He did an okay job. Listen, if you liked his character, if you were like a lot of people and you liked his character in Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, I liked him in that movie. I thought he was really good. He's basically essentially going to be the same in this movie, but it's hard to, at this point, it's hard to separate the actor and the fact that he's a terrible human being. So I was very conflicted going into this movie. I was very conflicted on like, okay, well, he was decent in this movie. But it's really hard to, say all that when all the stuff that he's done. And listen, we're not talking about allegations here. We're not talking about allegations. We're talking about confirmed stuff that he's done and stuff that he's acknowledged that he's done. So it's not like, oh, we're just guesstimating, we're assuming. We are not at this point. So if you haven't seen this movie and you already are annoyed or just don't find, Ezra Miller, if you find him annoying or just don't like him or whatever, just know that you're going to get, not only do you get one Ezra Miller as the Flash, you get two Ezra Millers in this movie. You get two Ezra Millers for a majority of this movie. So again, not a very appealing, especially with the consequences, unfortunately, what that person has done. You see one, you're going to get two of these guys. That's all I'm going to say really much about Ezra Miller. Probably until the end of the video, I'll talk a little bit more. But that is what I have to say about that. That out of the way, I want to talk about what really brought me to watch this movie and really what I wanted to see this movie. And it's Michael Keaton's Batman. That's it. That's what brought me, and it brought a lot of people to see this movie. Well, not a lot of people, but that's why a lot of people wanted to see this movie. And I'll tell you this, it doesn't disappoint. I mean, the gist of it is Barry Allen wants to, misses his mom, his dad, went from Billy Crudup to Ron Livingston. They switched them out. Ron Livingston is his dad. He basically wants to right the wrongs. So he tries to go back and fix to where his dad doesn't go out to the store and then his mom doesn't die. So his dad doesn't get framed. So he tries to fix that. And unfortunately, by doing that, he messes up a lot of stuff. I did like that Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot came in the beginning. Wonder Woman, Batman, they were in it for a very short period of time because it's still the Justice League at the very beginning. And these guys have to fix a lot of stuff. So Ezra Miller, travels to a time where he meets a younger version of himself, and then they have to both run around and fix stuff. And they go to a very old and bearded Bruce Wayne, played by Michael Keaton. That was cool to see, man. That was really, really cool. And they try to convince him to help him out, and they convince him to suit up for one last time or whatever to go save Superman. And the cool thing about this is that we don't get Kal-El or whatever. We don't get Henry Cavill's Superman. We get Supergirl, played by Sasha Calle, I believe it's Calle. Whatever. I'm probably butchering her name. We got a Supergirl this time around. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting twist. That's really, really cool. She's okay. She's fine. She's there. But Zod is the bad guy for the most part. There's really not a bad guy. They're just kind of running around doing stuff. But the big action sequence towards the end is, Zod, the battle with them and his army and stuff like that. But yeah, we get closure for Keaton's Batman in the literal sense. They kill him off. They kill Michael Keaton's Batman, Bruce Wayne, all that stuff. They kill him off. That was, in my opinion, that was a cool move. That was a really, really, really good move, in my opinion. The Flash tries to save it, does one reverse, and he still ends up getting killed or whatever. And and Michael Keaton's Batman was like, "There's no undoing this one, kid," or "There's no coming back from this one, kid," and he dies. And that was a really good closure. I mean, listen, were they going to keep him alive? I mean, Mike Keaton's like 71, 72 years old, for crying out loud. There's only so much they could do with this guy. Not all of us could be Liam Neeson, being in action movies well into your 70s, for crying out loud. Yeah. So it's just hard to talk about this movie. It's hard to. I'm trying to praise this movie without praising this movie too much. I guess I could praise this movie without praising the star of the movie, I guess, which is nuts. In my opinion, the star of this movie is Batman. The star of this movie is Michael Keaton. He's not in it very much, but he's in it a good amount. So if you're going into this movie thinking that Michael Keaton's going to be in this for the majority of the movie, unfortunately, he's not. I think he shows up an hour into this movie, if I'm not mistaken. My biggest issue is that why didn't they, amid the controversies and stuff like that with Ezra Miller, why didn't they cast, Grant Gustin, the TV version of the Flash, for crying out loud? This movie had no problem showing so many different iterations of the Flash, Batman, Superman. There's a scene in this movie where every Superman is shown CGI. Obviously, these guys didn't come in and film these scenes, because they showed the original Superman from the 40s, the black and white Superman, Christopher Reeves Superman, Supergirl from the 70s, 80s, I believe. They showed every Superman possible. They even showed every Batman possible, every Flash possible. They couldn't bring Grant Gustin for a little cameo. That would have been great. I mean, freaking, Ezra Miller pops up as a cameo in the Flash TV series. Does anybody remember that? They couldn't bring him back really quick. Be like, hey, can you come and shoot for half a day and do a quick cameo? Apparently not. I mean, I think Grant Gustin's a good actor. I think he would have been great as a replacement. Be like, oh, well, Ezra Miller was the Flash in Justice League, but now he's the Flash in the movie. I'm pretty sure it would have been a better, box office return. Yeah. I am going to be very surprised if they bring Ezra Miller back as the Flash, and especially with the money it made. I will be very surprised, because DC is not in some good stuff right now, man. They are having troubles with Aquaman 2. They canceled Batgirl. I mean, for crying out loud, man, DC cannot afford to cast Ezra Miller again. So if I would have had to make a guess, I think if I'm not mistaken, Ezra Miller's days as Barry Allen is over. This guy needs to go fix himself. Everybody absolutely deserves a second chance, but you know what? This guy needs to go away for a couple years, a few years, or whatever, and he needs to go. He needs to go work on himself, man. He needs to go face whatever's all the wrong he's done. Go make it right as much as he can. Obviously, there's only so much you could do if you're a bad human being. He needs to go work on himself. Maybe stay away. Maybe not come back to acting. I don't think there's a lot of people rushing out to cast Ezra Miller right now. Unfortunately, he needs to go away. He needs to go work on himself, take a few years off, and then, maybe if Hollywood wants him back or he proves himself again, maybe we could take him back. I don't know. I'm not, obviously I'm not going to go into all the accusations, but they're pretty bad, man. They're pretty bad. And it's pretty interesting that you have a massive studio standing behind this person. That takes some balls, dude. That takes some fucking balls, man. Not a lot of studios will know. Unfortunately, when you shoot most of your movie or the whole movie and all this stuff starts happening, there's only so much you could do. You can't cancel the movie. They'll cancel Batgirl, no problem. An already completed movie, they'll cancel that right away. They won't cancel a movie with a star that has done some pretty terrible things. But yeah, my review of this movie is the star has done some terrible things. No, it's a 3 out of 5. People are gonna like it. Some people aren't gonna like it. If you watch these reviews, it is very split. There's a lot of people who like it, and people who love this movie have gotten they have gotten it on the internet, man. People, just by expressing that they like this movie, they have gone torn apart. They've gotten torn apart because people are going to be like, well, you can't like this movie with a terrible person in it. Absolutely, you cannot. But you could also, at the same time, you could enjoy the movie for what it is. I enjoyed it because Batman's in it. And there's some fan service. Absolutely, there is some fan service. It's just unfortunate that it has to have a person who's in it for about 90% of the time. That's just not a good human being. So if you haven't seen this movie, just know that, Ezra Miller isn't going to change your mind. You know what I'm saying? But if you go in with the movie, maybe don't buy it. I mean, I'm just telling you what I did. I'm not going to buy the movie. I didn't go to see it in the theaters. Listen, if you want to buy it on physical media, I get it. I'm a physical collector too. I'm not going to judge you there, man. I'm like, you're supporting this man who did all this stuff. I'm not going to jump at you like that, man, because that is, if you buy this movie on physical media, you do you, man. Just stream it. I stream it. Listen, you get Dolby Vision, you get 4K, all that stuff. If you're worried that streaming is whatever, it's streamed. It looked great. That's my way of not supporting it, but I guess you could call me a hypocrite because I'm supporting it by paying a monthly fee to stream these movies. So I guess you're there's no way out of this, but I guess me paying for a streaming service is not really directly supporting it. It just happens to be on a platform that I'm already paying for. That's the way I'm going to look at it. Andy Muschietti, pretty good. I like what he did in It 1 and 2. He's a good director. Unfortunately, I feel bad for everybody else. I feel bad for the whole cast except Ezra Miller. I mean, you work on a movie for months and months and months, years sometimes, only for this to just be this cloud over your movie and for it to not do well at the box office must be soul crushing, man. I mean, at the end of the day, you worked all this time for somebody mess it up, and that's what it is. Yeah, stream it, watch it, whatever. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me, don't agree with me. What do you think? What you think should have been done? Should have been canceled? Grant Justin. What do you think about Grant Justin? I liked him as the Flash in the TV version. I get it. TV and film are different, blah, 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 blah. But at the same day, everybody's acting, right? I thought he would have been a great Barry Allen movie version. or at least he could have came back for a cameo. That would have been kind of fun. All right, I'm not going to talk about it too much more. 3 out of 5 stars. Fun time. If you could somehow navigate through the fact that there is 2 Ezra Millers in this movie, 2, not just 1, 2. If you could get over that fact, you're going to find about an hour in that Batman is well worth the ticket of admission to watch this. It's really good to see old, one of your favorite Batman in this movie. He still has it. 72 years old, 71 years old. He still has it, man. Michael Keaton is Batman. But yeah, all right. I'm gonna get out of here. That's been my 3-star review of The Flash. This box office bomb, unfortunately, but it is what it is, man. You release a movie with a person who did some bad stuff, you're gonna get returns that people didn't want to watch this. So hopefully the studio kind of takes notes, and I'm pretty sure they did. Until next time, Burrito Johnson. Keep watching movies, guys.